double on because of the fossil fuel. We're all going to go extinct like the dinosaur. Dana's a dinosaur.
I believe we should have that as part of
Dana's tractor sheet. Just like another one if you want to leave it on. What's going on? You guys are here for this rally. How'd you hear about this?
Big funds, they put about 10% and we actually go out to fly.
I'm doing everything I can to make sure that things are not and now they're dumping my tires in my head, just whatever I can just be
So what? Am I going to get through that? It's a fair question. I think I'm okay. Famous last words.
They know Mimi's going to be there. Right. And then they've got...
Okay, sorry about that. My day is already doing. I feel great. We have tremendous support from all facets of the Democratic Party. Here you see the activists, the indivisible support that we've had since early on since we've been campaigning for over here in town. So all the pieces are coming together. We're going to have a tough primary on June 5th. We hope everybody comes out and votes for me. And we'll have a seat in the general. And we'll be Dana Well, there's a lot of things that are driving the change. One is just simple demographics, but two is that people are finally realizing that Dana Warbacher's values do not match up with the values of the constituents here. Nobody here is underestimating the impact of climate change and humans' impact in that climate change. Yet we have a member of Congress who doesn't believe in either. Somebody who matches up their values. And that person is brilliant.
And of course,
it is a concern, and I think that's part of why we've seen the different parts of the Democratic Party get behind this campaign. So we've had, as you can see, the grassroots support. We've also had local politicians. We've also had the entire Democratic Convention delegation from Orange County endorse our campaign. We've had Sierra Club, the environmentalists, endorse our campaign. We've had California Labor Fed, the largest, over 2 million members, endorse our campaign. So all the different aspects of the party are getting behind the campaign. The Democratic Congressional Delegation from Orange County, right. It is a nice feeling, but I must admit it's due to the folks behind me because they've been there with me for a year now, campaigning, rallying, walking, writing postcards, knocking on doors, phone banking, doing all the things you want to see in a grassroots campaign to make sure that we get to the general before. So it's a good feeling. You know, that's a good question. I would say people that are active in the process, regardless of where they're on the political spectrum, if they're active in the process, they understand. I think there are a lot of voters, though, that do not understand California's jury system. So we are trying to educate everybody to understand that, and hopefully make them understand that it's about voting for the strongest Democrat to make sure they get the general and be able to defeat them.
Walker has got to go. Harley! Go Harley! In
Gosh, I hope so. I know, and I believe it, and I believe I'm the guy. 30 years is enough. It's time to move up or move out. In his case, it's move out or early retirement. You know, in this area of the country, people have progressive values, even progressive values in social issues. They are considering a tax cut increases the deficit by $1.5 billion. So the Republican Party is representing Republicans' interest here. They know that my values better represent them. My background, business background, managing up to 10,000 people, my law degree and practicing law for 25 years, I truly believe that I match up with the values of the constituents here better than they are. What are you going to be doing and bring us there? Working hard to continue to get the vote out, right? Encouraging people to make sure they get to the polls if they've already sent in their mail ballot. And then anxiously watching the returns. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
I don't want to get in the way of you.
Feedback, Steve. I got both of you guys today. Good to see you.
Double track.
Great.
It'll be my decoration.
What's up, bud?
Harley!
here. Where I go.
Like that dragon. What? Good sign.
Where we're going to speak. Let's make our way that way.
Speech already?
Hello. Good meeting you. Jesus, you've got lovely teeth. Oh my God.
Supposed to be out here. Great. Well, I think we're going to chat tomorrow. So, sorry. So sorry.
Alright guys, let's bring it in close, that way so we can hear and see all of the speakers today. Let's bring it in close. Thank you guys for coming out on this beautiful sunny Laguna Beach day.
Right.
So, my name is Aaron McCall and I'm from Indivisible OC-48. And I am so excited and so proud to be out here for Harley Rouda! You know, what's really awesome is that Harley has been going for the past year and a half along with us on this journey as a district, as we've woken up to the fact that we can no longer just be citizens, but we must be activists. We must be awake and we must be conscious, and we have to go out and fight. And Harley's been going along with us up and down the district all this past year and a half and fighting for you. Yeah. Fighting for the environment, fighting for gun reform. And now more than ever, this election means so much, not just for our district, but for the United States and the world, as we have a tyrant in the White House who makes foolish decisions and is left unchecked. Let's send Harley to check the president. All right, so before I invite the next person up to the stage, I just want to add the final point. Is that today's rally is super exciting. We had a lot of fun chanting, but it's about, actually afterwards, we're going to go and do the work. We have only a few days to June 5th. We need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to drive up turnout, because that is the only way that we win. We have to phone bank. We have to go knock on doors and do canvassing. There are so many opportunities available for you guys to do this, to even knock on the own doors in your neighborhood. If you're interested, ask myself or Avery or the rest of the field team. They will get you hooked up, but please do not leave here today thinking that the rally is the end. It's only the beginning. We have to fight in order to get Harley a chance to be in November, because we can be locked out with just Ball and Rohrabacher, and we don't want that. So, repeat after me. I believe. I believe. I believe that we will win. 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 Vote Harley. Vote Harley. Vote Harley. In June. Good job, you guys. I would like to introduce Gina. Is she here? Oh, there you are. Yep, go ahead. I can help you. Look at those shoes. Go for it.
Oh my gosh, I'm in high heels. Hey. Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I said good morning, Laguna Beach. First and foremost, I want to thank Indivisible 48 for organizing this event today. It's truly grassroots, it's truly organic, and exactly what we need to get us down the home stretch to June 5th. My name's Gina Clayton-Tarvin, and I'm a current member of the Board of Trustees in the Ocean View School District. I serve as the clerk, and I'm also the recent past president of the board. And our school district boundaries cover most of what's northwest Orange County, including, whoa. Should I move? I am. Including Huntington Beach, Fountain Valley, Westminster, Midway City, and even Seal Beach at the weapons station. So that's pretty much the entire top of the 48th. Yes. And I represent over 130,000 constituents. I've been a public school teacher also in Los Angeles County for 22 years. As well as I'm a leader of my labor union. And we fight for workers' rights to a fair contract, good working conditions, and most importantly, for the rights to advocate on behalf of our students and demand safety and security. Most importantly, I'm the mother of two wonderful boys who attend public schools in Huntington Beach. I'm a public servant first and foremost, and as an elected official, I work at the pleasure of you, the people. And for the past 30 years, we've had a congressman who has not worked on behalf of the people. I've wondered often, who was he working for? At times I've wondered, is he working on his own behalf, in his own personal or special interest? And I also, I came to the realization that he really hasn't done much. And most certainly, And most certainly not for his constituents.
Do nothing, Tina!
I know that we must not let one more term pass with a man in office who cares more about a foreign government than his own citizens. It's time that we have a representative who works for us, the people. A representative that actually cares about our children as if they were his own. A representative that cares about the same things that we do. And for me, that one and only candidate that I know can do all of this and can take on this incumbent and actually win and be our voice in Washington, D.C. is Harley Rouda. He must be our voice. He will be our voice. Because we can't stand another term of the same old inaction. We can't stand one more thing that's the same old thing. We can't stand for inaction on gun violence in our schools. We can't stand another school shooting. And after Columbine, we all said, never again. After Sandy Hook, we all said again, never again. And now we're saying it again after Parkland, and now again after Texas just the other day.
Enough.
And where are we? We're here again. What we are saying is not working. Can you hear me? It's not working. What we're saying is not working. Talk is cheap. And real action is needed. We can't just say never again, we actually have to mean it.
Yeah.
To mean it means to do something. And the one and only way in this country to do something, to change the issue, to change, to make effect, to make real change, is at the ballot box. Voting for those that will make the changes we seek. We need to make the change for voting for Harley Rouda, our voice.
Yes.
Both Harley and I affirm the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. However, just as Supreme Court Justice Scalia wrote for the landmark Second Amendment case of the District of Columbia versus Heller, the right to bear arms is not without limits. Some of those limits mean that not everyone can own a gun, carry it in the manner that they want, or own any type of gun or accessory that they demand. I support Harley Rouda because he has created an actual action plan for common sense gun ownership reforms that are intended, to reduce gun violence in our country. He supports federal legislation to establish who can own a gun by requiring background checks for all gun purchases and outlawing gun purchases by violent criminals, the mentally ill, and those on the no-fly list. Let's use our voices, let's use actions, and most importantly, our votes. Vote with your feet, get to the polls, make the change. Never again can be a reality if we make it so. What we need to do is make the change at the ballot box in June and again in November when Harley will face off with his opponent and take him down. And remember, every single vote matters. And our children's safety depends on who represents us in Washington, D.C. I'll say in closing, there have been a lot of rallies, just like today, but the rally must be to the polls on Election Day. So, repeat after me. Where will we go? To the polls! What will we do? Where will we go? What will we do? Where will we go? What will we do? Where will we go? What will we do?
coming.
Yay, Tony!
You know, I think we've reached the point where we would say anybody but Dana. but that's not what we're doing this time. We're not sending anybody but Dana. We're sending somebody to Washington who will make a difference. Who has the skill set to do the things that need to be done, who can work across the aisle, who's smart as a whip, a successful businessman, and someone that the Republicans in Orange County better pay attention to because they should vote for him. You know those declined estates that have been watching and those Republicans who are going, really? Do we want to be the laughing stock of the nation by sending Dana back? No. But more than that, we're going to send somebody who isn't just going to represent us, who's going to help the country get back on its feet. So will it make a difference if we vote? Yes. But how do we actually make a difference? Everyone that's here needs to go home and find 10 people they can count on. That will contact 10 people. That will contact 10 people. There are people who haven't decided. There are people that don't know about the race. There are people who have no idea what a wonderful candidate we have. So what happens today is your job, not just to vote, but to say, we have to do this. This is the 48. Can you imagine what a party we're going to have? So, it's easy to remember his name. Tell your friends and tell them that we have someone who can win the general. That's what we have. We can never lose track of that because we can have a party in June, but we want a party in November. Party in November. Remember it. Thank you, Harley, for running, and thank you for being who you are.
All right, now we have Katrina Foley. Come on, give her a round of applause.
Everybody who's out here, I'm Katrina Foley. I'm on the Costa Mesa City Council. I have served as your council member and a Newport Mesa school board member during the entire time that Rohrabacher has been in office. And I will tell you personally that he has not done anything to serve our communities. We have time and time again had to go to our other congressional representatives in other parts of the county to get help. We had to call on Congresswoman Sanchez to help us with the Newport Beach dredging project. We have to call on Congressman Correa to help us with sober living home reform. We have to call on other people outside of even Orange County to help us get local dollars back into our district. We need a representative who represents us, the people, and that's Harley Rouda. I am married to a school teacher. I do not want my husband armed in the classroom. I do not want our children exposed to gun violence anymore. I have 2 children who grew up in Costa Mesa Public Schools. I am a Head Start graduate. I am living the American dream, and I want the next generation to live the American dream. Harley Rouda will help us live the American dream. We need a congressman like Harley who cares about public education, who cares about helping working class families, lift them up out of poverty, get them jobs, clean energy jobs that will help the middle class survive. Harley Rouda will give us clean energy jobs, and he will help us rebuild our middle class that are struggling with, I have a son at UCSB. I pay way too much in college tuition. We need public education that's reasonable in price and that educates our families so that we can be competitive as a nation. I am fully supportive of Harley. My office staff for the next week are going to be phone banking. That's what they're going to be doing for her. That's how much I am committed. I am standing with you, Harley, and I appreciate your family. Kara, thank you so much. It's been great getting to know you. This is the candidate. I know this district. In the last 10 years, I have won against the Republican machine. I know what it takes. Harley Rouda can win. Get out and vote. Benjamin, come over here. Benjamin, come over here real quick. This is why we need to vote. We need to protect our children, and Harley Rouda is the man to do it. So please, get your friends, send your Facebook, send your emails out, contact everybody you know, inside and outside the district, and vote Harley Rouda into Congress.
All right, I'm going to invite two patriots to the stage who really made one of the greatest sacrifices, in my opinion, and they put the district over their own passions and their own ambitions, and that is Laura Oatman and Michael Potter. Can you guys give them one more round of applause?
Looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We are pissing everybody off here, and I love it. We're pissing off the Trumpsters, the Bernie crowds, the Hillbots, the you name it. We're pissing them all off. We're going against the establishment. We're going against the far left, the far right. We're going against everybody. We are people powers. We are the people. And like Katrina said, we're not doing this for us. We're not doing this for our own ego or our own self-glory or gratification. We're doing it for our children. That's what we are doing it for. I am a small business owner. I'm a mother of 5 millennial children myself. So I'm invested times 5, and hopefully I'll have some grandchildren someday, right guys? We're on the same page with this. It's like one day, you know, that was one of the reasons I thought Harley was such a cool guy. I figure anybody that's got 4 kids is in a very special club. He's as crazy as I am. And he likes French fries with mustard. So that was really it. No, honestly, I'm here for a very, very important reason. And the reason I'm standing up here is not to talk about me or our kids or how horrible Dana is, but I'm here to say that there's another very important thing that needs to happen. With the GOP, they play chess while we play checkers. And they inserted Scott Baugh in hours before the filing deadline. All 8 of us were jumping in thinking, this is going to be great. We have the luxury of backing any one of these 8 awesome Democratic candidates to go against a head full of mush like Dana Rohrabacher, right? And we had 8 awesome candidates. The problem is, when they inserted Scott Baugh in, it's a very real and very scary scenario that we could potentially end up with 2 Republicans on the ballot in November. Who wants to see that? No. So, if anybody can speak to what level of sacrifice we need to do to make sure that doesn't happen, I believe I have a little bit of authority to speak to this.
Yes, you do.
We need to give up everything for the next 16 days. You guys need to take vacation days from work. You need to take, unless it's life-saving surgery, you have no excuse to be out, not be out knocking on doors, calling people, telling everybody you know that you happen to know a couple of really awesome candidates, Michael Kotick and Laura Oatman, who decided that they do not want your vote, that they have endorsed the strongest candidate in this And I don't take this lightly. I was given all kinds of conflicting advice as to what to do here. Should I drop out? Should I stay in? Should I endorse the endorsed candidate? I didn't like being told what to do. I'm a pretty independent woman, and I decided I wanted to endorse the candidate that was the strongest on climate change, and that had the most to lose if we lost this election, but was truly invested the same way that I was, that was in it for all the right reasons. And by every metric, Harley is the strongest candidate in the race, and also his heart is in it for the right reasons. And that is the reason we all have to get out to all of your friends. Everybody call 20 friends and have them get to the ballot, drive them to the ballot, make sure they vote on June 5th. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Laguna Beach. Gosh, these blue hats look a lot better than the red ones, I'll tell you that. Well, good morning. My name is Michael Kotick. I'm excited to see everybody here and welcome you to my home of Laguna Beach. And this is what we're fighting for. We're fighting to defend our homes at this point in time. Because we have a congressman and his protege, I call him Dana Jr. because I won't mention his name, who is so consumed with building walls, with tearing families apart, with not protecting our children and making sure that schools are the safest place in this country, that we all need to do what we need to do to ensure that he does not see another term in Congress, and that we elect someone who is progressive, who looks forward, who can energize a community, and who will fight for what's right, and that's Harley Rouda. So I will be brief because I think we have a lot more important work to do today. And I will say two things. First of all, I got my ballot last week. Who got their ballot last week? And there's a whole lot of names on that ballot. And I was wondering, who do you think I should vote for? Harley! That's right. If you look on my social media profile, my ballot is done. My ballot is mailed, and I voted for Harley Rouda. Number two, and this one's probably most important. Do not mistake activity with achievement. We can tweet all we want, we can post on Facebook all we want, but elections are won on the ground. Yes. So use your feet, use your hands, and make a phone call. Every time that you want to throw your remote control at Sean Hannity on the TV, put up the phone and call somebody. It's time to get busy, because June 5th is coming. The threat is real, Laura mentioned it. And we are going to make sure that Harley Rouda gets through and takes on Dana Rohrabacher in November, because it is time. Thank you very much. Can we give him a round of applause?
Now, I am very, very, very excited and super honored to introduce the next congressman of the 48th District.
Thanks. It's unbelievable when you think how far we have come. It was a year and a half ago, gray day in all of America, even here in sunny California, when Donald Trump was elected to be our next president. And we had to endure the next 3 months as the inauguration came true and he actually was sworn in as the president of the United States. But what did we do? We marched. We rallied. We wrote postcards. We